What's up, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Navigating Dental Insurance Podcast. I am your co-host today, Jordan Comstock. With me, as usual, Mr. Ben Tuinei. What is up, dog?
What's up, Jordan? Hey, this is the reunited remake, right?
Yes, yeah, we're back. We're doing another series, I guess, together, and I couldn't be more excited, dude, because you're my homie.
Dude, likewise. It's funny because you're big into music. My son's big into music, and we went
Yeah.
to this festival in Tempe, Arizona last month.
Okay.
And I can't remember the names of the bands, but they're the bands that break up and they get back together and they break up.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to let the listeners know that there was not a breakup here. We
No
just got
breakup.
busy.
We just got busy. We're busy individuals, and
Yeah,
the timing just worked out again to just pick up the podcast and start recording again. So, dude, I'm so pumped that
absolutely.
we're doing this again.
Likewise, man. And love the theme there in the background. We kind of both have the island theme going because Jordan is now Polynesian.
Yeah, I'm
And
half Polynesian. Yep,
yeah, yeah.
half Polynesian, half German, I guess.
Hey, same here.
So,
I'm part German too.
are
Hey,
you
that's
too?
it's part of the world dominance bloodline.
I guess.
You need to watch Nuremberg, the one
Okay.
with Russell Crowe and oh gosh, what's his name? The guy that played Freddie Mercury.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I don't know his name, but
but
I know who you're talking
but
about.
but the Germans almost took over the world, so there's something to be said about
Probably, yeah. Oh,
that.
this is awesome, dude. So today we're going to be talking about just industry updates. We're in the year 2026. There's a lot happening everywhere, from
Mm.
insurance to negotiations to membership plans, dropping PPOs, and AI. AI is everywhere, and I've been
Yep.
following that hand like my hands are dirty in AI every day, building things and understanding how it works and how we can use it in our practices. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And Ben, I'll let you start because insurance,
Yeah.
what's going
Yeah,
on?
man. It's really funny, Jordan, is in the last 5 years, so many doctors have been going out of network with insurance plans. And
Yeah,
as a result, the insurance industry, every insurance company has been creating new recredentialing language because they know doctors sign recredentialing
interesting.
without reading them. And in those agreements, they're saying, oh, yeah, by accepting recredentialing, you agree to not negotiate for 3 to 5 years.
Oh shit. Yeah.
And you also agree to not terminate for 3 to 5 years.
Sneaky. So they're doing okay, so they're doing longer terms in their contracts because they see they're having churn. That's churn, right? Or attrition. So they're trying to
Yes.
solve that. Okay, interesting.
And they're playing on the feedback that they already know is very few doctors actually read their agreements.
Yeah,
Most sign them because it's a patient retention measure,
yeah,
and most don't even know that these insurance contracts are unilateral. Sorry, they're bilateral. They're not unilateral, which is one-sided. Bilateral, both parties get to
yeah.
negotiate the terms. So that's the biggest thing that I wanted to point out is that don't get bullied by these insurance companies. Read those agreements
Read. Well,
or
you probably can upload those agreements into like ChatGPT and get like a summary and like risks and all that stuff, and then take that to an attorney, be like, what's going on here, right?
yes.
Is what
In fact,
that's what I would do at least.
yeah, and along those lines, Jordan, I actually had I don't know if you know John Christensen. He's the owner of ChrisAd.
Oh, yes, I do.
Um, he's so kind enough to come out straight out to my house, and he was here yesterday. And we had a super nice collaborative chat. I had no idea that ChatGPT is owned. It's partially owned by a bunch of insurance companies, which
Interesting.
which makes sense
Probably.
because yeah, when you research insurance related stuff, it is very heavily one-sided towards insurance. So I guess on
Without
the
Yeah, with if you open it up like just without guardrails or data, yeah, you're probably right. It may just be open generic stuff about insurance companies.
yes, I watched Dr. Grobmeyer's post. He's the predecessor of Dr. Charles Blair,
Oh, cool.
and he is just blasting out there that look, you got to be careful with ChatGPT is great for contract review. So
Yeah.
your recommendation there is solid, but it's so funny that the AI technology that everybody uses these days, like ChatGPT, when it comes to insurance, it's very heavily leaning towards the insurance opinions of things,
Interesting.
So I just
That's
wanted
really
to throw that
interesting.
out there so that people
Yeah.
know why
The
they're
wor-
getting the wrong answers.
the workaround for that is you can and this I'm going to be techie here. You build a custom GPT or a custom Claude project. I like Claude is another Chat GPT type
Yeah.
solution. And then you upload instructions into it on who you are and what you're wanting it to do. Give it a job role, essentially. That's the proper way
Yes.
to use AI today. If you use it broadly, then there's some danger, like what you're saying, Ben.
Yeah.
So typically, I'll do is I'll upload like this is your role, ChatGPT. Give it instructions. Here's the data that I want you
Mhm.
to pull from my data about my practice or whatever it may be, upload that into a custom GPT, and then start asking it certain
Hmm.
questions. And then you get a refined, more focused versus a broad
Right.
approach to the answers, right? So that there's ways to use it today that most people don't. We do trainings here at Boom
Yeah.
Cloud for our team members because everyone's using AI for answers. And one thing that I've noticed, to your point, Ben, is yeah, when you use it broadly like that without context or without guardrails, it can it can get wacky town.
That makes
So
sense.
build a
So you got
custom
to.
GPT, which is geeky stuff, but you can YouTube it.
No, I love that because I have a great friend of mine who's teaching me how to create. He's using ChatGPT and has taught it to give the Kai answer. His name's Kai, so
Okay.
it's Ask Kai. So
Oh,
his
cool.
people go to the Ask Kai tab and they ask any question about the practice, and it always
Very
gives
cool.
Kai's an He's taught it to give Kai's
Yes.
answers.
Yeah, we do the same thing here. Like I have a CEO GPT, Boom Cloud CEO GPT that people can be like, hey, how do I talk to Jordan? Like,
Mhm.
what's his personality like? It has my personality data in it. It says, well, or some of it, not all of it, because I don't want to expose all of my personality. I don't want them manipulating me. I have guardrails for that. But I do want them knowing how to talk to me, right? So it teaches my employees how to talk to me on if they have an
Mhm.
idea and how to think about it and position it in regards to the business. So yeah, you can use AI to be really powerful, and we're kind of jumping to this, but um,
Mhm.
that's how I recommend using these tools is building basically your own brain within ChatGPT, so is not taking the broad uh, biased information that the insurance companies may be putting out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
know?
love it, man. No, I
Yeah.
love it. I have so much to learn from you with the AI technology here because I'm convinced that what you said is right. When you have guardrails and
Yeah.
parameters on how it should serve you, especially when you're paying for it,
Yes.
everybody that I know that has your brain for tech, they love systems like that because it creates efficiencies. Doesn't
Yep.
necessarily replace people. It makes your people better because it
It can do both.
streamlines.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 that's true.
Depending on what you need it to do. Yeah, which I can share more of that down the line here. It's really interesting what you can do. But
Yeah.
the insurance companies are using it too, Ben. I mean, I've read several articles recently that they're using AI to like deny and decline, deny and
Yes.
what's the other word? I just forgot it. Deny
Adju
and uh,
adjudicate.
yeah, just mess up the process, right? I don't know if there's been any other updates on that, but have you heard anything like that recently?
Oh, yeah, the deny and delay culture here in
Delay,
terms of
that's what I was
claims.
thinking of.
Oh,
Deny
is
and
that the
delay.
other word?
I couldn't think of delay. Jeez.
That's all good.
Yeah, so it's always been an issue, but now with AI, is that becoming a bigger issue? What are you seeing?
Oh, yes. So, um, it is, you're absolutely correct. The rate of denials are getting out of control.
Yeah.
And it is entirely based upon the fact that these insurance companies are using AI to automatically deny claims and then send notices to the providers or doctors as to why the claims were denied in a way that kind of sounds legit. But
Jeez.
it's 100% inappropriate for a claims review to be performed by a non like a computer system, right?
Yeah, a
So
computer system. But
so
there's,
yeah,
I'm
we
sure they're finding ways around it, loopholes around it, even though, there may be some laws or whatever that protect that.
the loophole is that the doctors don't know how to fight those things. And
Interesting.
like the best way to fight that, like when you're getting a consistency of denials and it's like, wow, the treatment is sound and we verified that benefits are covered, you have to call the insurance companies and do a HIPAA request and request the names and credentials of every person that accessed the claim, especially who denied it. And
Interesting.
HIPAA requires you to disclose the insurance companies to disclose that information when it's requested. Otherwise, that insurance company would carry very steep fines from the federal government if they
Yeah,
violated
sure.
those. But whenever you make that request on a specific claim, if it is an AI denial, 100% of the time they reverse the claim because these insurances don't want to fess up.
Yeah,
They're auto adjudicating and they're denying and delaying based upon a computer algorithm, not necessarily a licensed human being that can see what the diagnosis is and read the records.
interesting. Yeah, that's an
So,
interesting problem that probably will continue to evolve and be complicated and messy for practice owners.
oh yeah,
Very
yeah,
interesting.
it's getting worse. But the funny thing is, Jordan, is that there are laws and there are regulations to prevent things like this from happening.
Okay.
And I think the reason why the insurance industry is beefing up their efforts here is because most doctors have no clue what their rights are, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like getting arrested and, even though you have nothing to hide and you say yes to somebody searching your vehicle, you could say no.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they don't have probable cause, you could say no, right?
Exactly.
It's
Yes.
just it's a function of knowing what your rights are. And with all that dentists have to focus on these days, it's to me, it is the insurance companies taking advantage of the fact that doctors are so busy,
Yes.
and they bank on the fact that you're not going to research or figure out what your rights actually are. But to me, that's what it boils down to is once you understand your rights, it's so much easier to deal with these insurance companies because you can fight them with a whole lot of gold teeth.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this article on my site that we wrote a while ago about this topic because I think I have some sources, but if I don't find it on the recording, I'll try and post it in the show notes on some of the news articles that I've found that are quoting sources for the AI claims, all
Yeah.
that bullshit. We'll
Yep.
just say it as it is, right?
It's what it is.
So I'm trying to search because we have a massive database of these articles here, but I just have too many. So I'll post it here in the show notes because that is a really interesting article that we wrote maybe a few months back, all about these AI claim denials and delays. I'll find it. But it would be interesting. I'll share it with you too, Ben, because it's an interesting little read
Yeah, love it.
for this
Love it.
for this topic. Anything else in the insurance landscape? What else has happened? Man, it's been a while since I've heard an update from your viewpoint of what you're seeing daily. Like, what is the biggest pain point right now that practices are having?
Yes, so the final two that I'll mention, because I really want to hear your thoughts too on the membership plan space and AI space even
Yeah,
further, is the insurance industry is they're consolidating dental. They're buying
yeah,
vendors. They're
yes,
buying companies like yours. They're buying dental practices.
sure.
And I mean,
They're
we've all
almost acting
heard,
like a giant private equity, I would imagine.
yes. I mean, we've all heard that Delta Dental in Wisconsin purchased Cherry
Yeah,
Tree Dental. Big DSO
yes,
out there. But the funny thing is that Guardian and Carrington and a bunch of these other insurance plans they've owned practices for more than 15 years.
sure. Yeah.
And then in addition to that, I have to be careful not to mention the names of the companies, but I have direct knowledge that these bigger insurance companies own some of the biggest vendors in dentistry.
Oh, sure.
And
Yeah, I've heard that. I'm sure there's a
yeah,
lot that you can research and try to tie it all together. That's a big
and
nest.
Yeah, in fact, the biggest vendor in dentistry, they're owned in large part by the insurance companies. The publicly
Interesting.
traded dental companies, especially, are
Yeah.
gobbled up by the
Really?
insurance industry, and that's designed to control, right?
Sure. Yeah.
The insurance industry wants control.
We're now on your board.
Yeah. In fact, I know that you were approached by Delta, and same with me.
Yeah,
I
years
keep
ago.
getting. Yeah, and many companies in dental, as I'm learning these days, they're all being approached by these insurance companies because I think the writing's on the wall that the insurance profitability is going to start to diminish because the doctors are fed up.
Yeah, well, they operate like it's a multi-sided market, right? So is if the average practice owner population starts, you know, uh, going out of network and moving that way, it changes the landscape pretty quickly, if
Hmm.
the nation of dentists do that. Um,
Yeah,
because then it's a lopsided market for them, and they got to figure out how to uh, compensate for the lopsidedness, right? That's kind of how multi-sided markets work. Google is a
yeah,
multi-sided market. There's a lot of them around. So if one side gets wonky, then it really messes up the business model of that
yeah,
industry. So no, that's really
absolutely.
interesting. That's interesting that they're just getting their hands in things, right? Purchasing businesses. It literally is. They're almost like they're a private equity firm that's now gobbling up business practices and vendors in this space. That's
Yep,
really interesting.
yep.
And not a bad strategy. Like it's good strategy, but
If
it's
you're, yeah,
from a
you're right.
practice owner standpoint, it's like, oh, okay, there's some lines maybe being crossed because now it's like, oh, you own this and this and this. What about me as a practice owner? Now uh, it can cause some issues there, big time,
Yeah.
as that evolves, right?
Oh
Interesting.
yeah, big time.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it's not too far deep into the component where insurance companies own everything yet, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, and that's
And
just in general. Like insurance is a massive industry, not just in dental, but outside of dental. And they
that's
do
right.
have capital, right?
Hmm.
It's a financial product, so they know what to do um, with money. Meaning, like, well, let's take just this is insurance in general, no matter what industry that has insurance. It's like, okay, it's really brilliant business model. Let's take doesn't mean it's good for the customer though. Um, let's take, millions of people monthly payments. We'll suck them into our organization. We'll delay it, deny it, put it into the
Hmm.
market and in other assets, scale, grow the income. It's an investment strategy. That's what
Hmm.
insurance is. It's just an investment strategy. It's not
That's
really
right.
a true product. If you think about it, right? Even medical insurance, like it's not really a true product. It's an investment strategy when you boil it down and like look
Hmm.
at how the money flows. It's like, oh, this is a financial product. Most financial products are investment strategies for the board and the people involved. And maybe they're public. I don't know how many insurance companies are public, but I would imagine there's a good chunk of them. But it's an investment strategy, not a true
Hmm.
product that solves the problem in our nation, is kind of how I look at it. So
Yeah.
that's really
Yep.
interesting, Ben. Very interesting stuff going on with
I know.
insurance.
I
Yeah.
know. And I'm curious to hear about your take on where like the membership plan space is,
Yeah.
because it's funny. I keep hearing about more and more insurance companies developing new discount plans, which are
Yeah.
sort of same design as a membership plan. And to me,
They're
it's like,
close. Yeah. They're close sister, cousin. Yeah.
I think they're trying to compete at that level. But what's going on there in that space?
Yeah. So, I mean, I work on with practices mostly, well, all 100%. I don't work on with the discount plan providers out there. Um, like I think there's a few of them out there. I don't remember all their names. But if you think about like the discount only plans that are out there that exist, it's really just a membership type model. But
Hmm.
it's different because it's not offered by a practice, it's offered by a third party where like when a practice uses Boom Cloud, for example, it's their plan. It's not like it's not offered by me and my entity as a third party, right? There's some nuance there. So yeah, you are seeing discount plans open up and it's really interesting. But it's still the same problem. It's like, okay, we're just gonna negotiate hard with the dentist here and then just collect the fees on our end. And with the
Hmm.
discount plans, there's no typically there's not submissions. It's just a forced discount, right?
Right.
To the practice. But what we're seeing is I'm seeing more and more practices across the nation fully remove themselves from PPOs and offer more and more membership plans, which is one of the reasons why I started Boom Cloud is to help with that movement that's been a very long time coming, right? It's taken a long
Hmm.
time. But I'm seeing more and more practices do that. We just had one of our top practices, well, all of our top practices that are scaling their membership plans have dropped all of their PPO contracts
Hmm.
and are now out of network and running a membership only practice, which is really cool, you
Yeah.
know. And typically, what I see, like the practices that do that, they get around 1,000 plus active members, and it gives them the ability to,
Mm.
it gives them the cash flow to then say, okay, all right, we can start cutting and have cash flow coming in and build the financial base up before we start cutting these membership plans. I got some data here on this topic. So
Yeah.
I analyzed a handful of our top practices that we looked at three cohorts, three patient types: PPO patients, cash patients, and membership patients. And this is the data that led them to then say, well, let's just drop the other two types and convert everything to membership, right? So
Hmm.
uh, practices, t the average that we saw, like annual revenue per patient in these three cohorts, we got PPO patients, which was like $950 in revenue in a year's time, is where we're
Hmm.
looking at. So the average PPO patient was spending $950 in a year's time. Cash only patients, surprisingly, were a little less, about like 800 and a little over $800, right?
Hmm.
And then membership patients ranged from anywhere from 1,500 to 25-ish $100 in the same year. So if you look at those numbers, just to recap, 950 in annual revenue per patient for a PPO, a little over 800 for cash patients, so slightly worse. And then between 1,500 and $2,500 in annual revenue produced per patient in
Hmm.
those three cohorts, which is really, really interesting data, right? Because then it's like, if you're a business operator, then you're like, oh, why are we investing more? Why are we investing more into lower value patients? I hate to say patients that don't produce enough revenue. Cost, we know that there's a cost to acquire patients. We know there's a cost to manage patients, right? So why are most dentists, choosing the least productive patient type to scale their businesses, right? So like Wood River Dental, for example, started looking at this data and they're like, why are we doing this, right? And we noticed too, the average retention for PPO patients ranged from 3 to 5 years. Cash only was 2 to 4 years
Oh,
in
wow.
patient retention, which is
Yeah.
surprising because everybody idolizes the cash patient, right, in dentistry.
Mm-hmm.
But when we
Hmm.
actually put a microscope over it and be like, what's the data say? This is really interesting data, right? And then the members range from 5 to 8 years
Mm.
with this practice, right? And then lifetime value, revenue value, which is a really important business metric. PPO patients was $3,800. Cash only $2,700, so less.
Wow.
And membership patient 15,275, drastically more. So that's a lifetime value over the life of a membership patient and the other types, right? And the last
Yeah.
one I have here is Um, the let's see, cost to acquire. It's all pretty much the same. Cost to acquire a PPO patient ranges from 1 to 300. They're all the same actually. The cost to acquire is all about the same.
Mm-hmm.
But the revenue economics post are drastically different, right? So and that's from several case studies that we looked at of practices that were on the verge of dropping all their PPOs, right? Now I'm doing a series with one of my top customers on how they looked at this type of data and then how they dropped all PPOs and how they're operating today, which is, and we should bring it's Dr. Dan Nelson, bring him onto this podcast and interview him because it's really interesting on on his viewpoints as a practice owner and what he did um, to combat the pain point he was having. The biggest pain point he's having is we're writing 50% off of our production. And that's massive when you got inflation still wacky. Everything's wacky still in the finance
Yeah.
world, right? It's so wacky. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing more practices doing that and just strategically instead of like years ago you I would get a call and hear a bunch of practice being, they call all angry about insurance and be like, we're just dropping tomorrow. It's like, whoa, slow down there, turbo. I heard more
Right.
stories like that several years back. Today, I'm seeing more strategy behind it, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
That's the right way to do it, right? And
Oh
like
yeah.
Wood River Dental, for example, they did this over the course of 2 years after they built up a good patient base of members that were paying
Mm-hmm.
monthly and yearly, that they then started chipping away. And I know you've talked about this for a long time. They started chipping away one insurance at a time until this year they dropped the big boy, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing great. I need to go fly up there and take them out to dinner and have a party because that's a pretty cool achievement that they hit there. But that's kind of what I'm seeing more and more. And then today, using technology like AI to help you become your business strategist. If you give it the right data around this topic,
Mm-hmm.
you could be dangerous in a good way um, in reducing your dependence on PPOs, right? So that's what I'm
Yeah.
seeing more of, and we're building more and more tools around this topic, AI tools that will help them analyze their PPO strategy and help them more systematically reduce dependence on PPOs and increase patient members because they're a really high quality type of patient. And one thing I talk a lot about with several of our practices is understanding every business, whether it's you, Ben, or my business or a practice, has something what we call ideal customer profile or ideal patient profile. If you're a
Mm-hmm.
practice owner and you just market to the masses, you're going to get a lot of low value patients that don't help sustain the economics of your business, right?
Mm.
And I've done this with my own business where I've invested into like startups, for example. BoomCloud doesn't do well with startups because it costs a lot of money to get a practice set up on a membership plan and launched and going. There's a period where we are investing with our team into that, and um, I don't make money right away, right? When I'm helping a practice initially,
Right.
especially a startup.
Right.
So the same thing with practice ownership is, okay, who are your ideal customer profile or types?
Mm-hmm.
And focus on attracting more of them versus just the masses, and I'm seeing more practices be a little more conscious of that. And if you're not conscious of that, start researching ideal patient profile or ideal customer profile. It's a marketing term, but it's
Yeah.
a way to identify who your best patient is or patient type and attracting more of those. And that's another interesting thing that I see shifting in this space, especially for those that are dropping PPOs. So that's kind
Yeah.
of my viewpoints, Ben, on what I'm seeing in my day to day and talking to, the group of practices that are doing really well with their membership plans, at least on my platform. So Kind of
Yeah,
interesting. I think, moving into the tech side of things with AI, like AI could be used against you and it could be used for you, right? Or with you.
right, right. Yeah,
So if you're using it the right way, and there's many wrong ways to use it, like we initially talked about, like just going in, opening up ChatGPT and just having an open, broad conversation, that's really risky because then it's like, who's controlling the algorithm? Yeah,
right.
is it owned by insurance companies and are they feeding the knowledge of the AI to it, right? So it's like that's why I always say if you have ChatGPT or Claude, create a custom Claude or custom GPT with instructions on how you want it to work, and then it'll follow it. That's the appropriate way to use um, AI and as a practice owner or business owner. So yeah, man, that's kind of
Love it, man.
top of mind right
Yeah.
now.
No,
You
I
know?
love it. I was most impressed at the statistics regarding lifetime patient value, It
Yeah.
was like over 3,000 for PPO patient, but 15,000 for
15,000. Yeah. In for
Whoa.
because they say oh, and I do have case acceptance rates in that. So I read it just off of an article that our team put together on these case studies, and case acceptance rates actually increase. Uh, PPO case acceptance was pretty decent on average. I think it was like 30%, a little over 30%. Cash
Mhm.
patients actually were the worst case acceptance.
Really?
Yeah. Because if you think about it, they don't have any financial programs incentivizing the patient to say yes, a cash patient. Maybe they have like a 10% off, but it's not very strong
Hmm.
incentive for most patients. So when
Right.
we analyzed, it was like 26% case acceptance on average for cash patients. So PPO patients actually have a better case acceptance rate than cash
Yeah.
patients, right? And then membership patients were above 40% case acceptance because it was like a program and it's a clear program that incentivizes the patient to say yes, right? Which
Hmm.
was really interesting. So that's a metric I did not read out of the case study, but that is, I'll link the article because it goes into all the depth
Yeah, man.
that I won't do. So it's really interesting when you like put a microscope and look at the data and say, what does the data say? Which is
Hmm.
something like that's how my mind works. It's like, what is the data saying, and how should I utilize that data to make a business decision for my practice? So
Right. Yeah.
that's one amazing thing about, Claude or ChatGPT or whatever AI tool you're using is you can give it data and basically have it be your business strategist, right? As long as you set it up correctly, like I've said.
Hmm.
That's one thing that you can do for your practice and say, how can I drop these PPOs or how can I find better patients and use
Hmm.
it for strategy? That's one thing that I use it daily, and it's been really helpful. But
Yeah.
you got to build the brain of how you want it to work.
That's amazing.
You know?
I think the big takeaway that I'm hearing is that if you don't have a membership plan, if you're not well, if you and if you actually do have a membership plan, but you're not seeing that conversion of those patients converting into treatment, then naturally the system itself that you have is probably not working the way it should
Yeah.
for you, right? There's more
Yes.
strategy behind. It's not just like putting up your shingles and expecting people to come in. That doesn't work anymore, you
No,
know?
it's actually never worked. GTM or go to market has always been, no matter what industry you're in, marketing is always the thing that gets industries to move, right? So if you
Hmm.
think like even years ago when digital marketing wasn't a thing, businesses still had to do marketing. Even practices did it. It could have been just a billboard in front of their office, right? Like
Yeah,
a big sign that as the traffic that was driving down the street saw the sign, like, oh, there's a dentist there, right? Like in the
right.
80s and 90s, right? That's marketing. It's
Hmm.
just not
Yeah,
digital, right? Today you got digital traffic coming through Google search, coming through social media, TikTok, all this stuff. It's just evolved, right? So
yeah.
marketing has always been something that's really important in any business, in
Hmm.
software businesses, in your business, Ben, in practices. It's really, really important. That's another thing that AI is disrupting for for all of us, for practice owners or just any business owner, is the marketing function. It's like, okay, so now patients they do get on to ChatGPT and they're like, oh, my tooth hurts. Where should
Hmm.
I go?
Yeah.
And what does ChatGPT do? ChatGPT goes to Google or
Hmm.
Bing or whatever, and then it goes and it finds dozens of sources fast and systematically versus if you're scrolling, with your thumb, you're slowly looking at one by one, right? It's a very slow process, which is
Right.
crazy. That was the fastest process up until now, right? So
Hmm.
like as a practice and you're let's say you're trying to track more patients, um, and let's say your website's not built in a way that AI will read it. That's
Right.
another thing that's happening today. But the beautiful thing about all that is you can get AI to help you, set up your website the right way without having to hire all these marketing agencies that can be really costly to practices, right?
Right.
Now, of course,
Yeah.
I'm a marketing guy. That's my background. So marketing comes easier to me than it would a dentist, right? It's almost like I should do a course on how to build your marketing team with AI, because you can. That is one job role, Ben, you mentioned earlier. That's one job role that I have completely automated through AI is my marketing team. My marketing team today
Hmm.
is they're AI workers.
Yeah. Wow.
I made them a
Yeah.
break room though, Ben. They have
Hmm.
a break room. They play video games after they hit their quota. But no, today you can build some digital AI workers or AI employees to help you do certain things,
Yeah.
like marketing functions. I feel like I can do a whole course on this because that's kind of where my focus has been lately is how do I use AI to now not just search and get strategy, but how do I actually use it to produce something of value for my
Hmm.
business, right? And that's kind of where it's
Yep.
shifting today with agentic AI is coming into all industries, not just the tech industry. It's coming into
Hmm.
all industries. There's a tool out there called OpenClaw. Have you heard of this, Ben? This
I
is
have.
this is
I haven't
deep
used it.
tech now. Yeah, this is deep tech. OpenClaw is a first agentic AI, meaning
Hmm.
you put it onto your computer and it's autonomous. If you don't give the right instructions, it's going to do some wacky things, right? So it's
Yeah.
literally
Just
an auto
runs wild.
it will run wild, yeah. So if you don't learn how to give just AI guardrails today, even in your chat GPT, that's like the basic thing that you need to do. But agentic AI is coming and it's developing at a rate that I've never seen before in tech. I've been in tech 10 years now, Ben, this year.
Hmm.
A little bit longer, but Boom Cloud for 10 years this year. And I have never seen anything like this in the technology industry, how it's disrupting every industry in
Hmm.
good and bad ways, right? Depending on how you use it or who uses it.
Right.
Right? So, but agentic AI is another thing that's coming, and it's literally AI that automatically does things for you, right? And I think then
Yeah.
you get the robots and then the world's over.
Oh man, yeah. No, I'm with you. We've been developing our AI right now, and I'm actually quite impressed because I'm looking at
Yeah.
my screen here. The AI system that I'm using has worked 86 hours this
Yeah.
month so far. That's on things that I was supposed to do, but it did it for me.
Yes. Yeah.
So as an owner of a company, it's like, man, where else am I going to get another 86 hours? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right. And like some of the easiest tasks today is like, hey, we can automate marketing tasks really easy with AI. We can automate like custom like you can literally for all your practices out there that have websites, you can create like a an automated chat system for your website or
Hmm.
hire somebody to do it because I know you're busy. But then you can say as a doctor, you can give it all your knowledge, right? And say, of
Hmm.
course, you can't diagnose all that stuff, right? But
Right.
you can, talk in a certain way that gets them to book an appointment through your website or whatever the call to action is. So that's typically where you want to start is through marketing or customer or patient experience online. You can build
Yeah.
tools like that for your practice, and it's really I mean, I'm in tech and in marketing. I'm going to say it's not
Hmm.
that hard, but it might be hard for
Oh
if
yeah.
you're not in AI every day like I am, right?
Right. Yeah.
But no matter what, you can find somebody that can help you do that. That's the point, right? So
Love it.
that's kind of what I'm seeing with agentic AI is coming. It's developing really fast, and it's in every industry now. So
Yeah.
there's risks to that too. There's HIPAA risks, there's security risks
Right.
if you don't
Yeah.
control it, right? Which you have to control it with guardrails. So I mean, that's what I'm seeing, Ben. So hopefully that's helpful for everybody in understanding kind of the world of insurance,
Yeah.
negotiations, membership
Yeah.
plans, and AI.
I love it. I love it. Super, super helpful information. I mean, just even as me as a business owner, hearing what you're saying and my nifty AI note taker here that's listening to us is
Yeah,
gonna.
exactly.
I already built guardrails on what to listen for on things that
Perfect.
we're interested in, and it's already writing right now, like the things that you're saying in terms of AI technology.
Yeah.
But I think that every business owner needs to take that seriously because
Yes,
I
they do.
mean, getting so many extra hours given back to you, right? Where you invest in these
Yeah.
tools that perform in a way that doesn't require you to spend another $5,000 on an employee, right?
Yes,
Although it's
exactly.
nice to have those
Or a vendor,
employees,
yeah.
right? Or a vendor, exactly. So
Especially
big
in it,
time benefit.
especially in marketing, that industry is being disrupted a ton. But no, it's really beneficial, but it's still there's still a learning curve for us. And like I'm in it every day, Ben, and I'm having a hard time keeping up. And I'm in it
Yeah,
every day. It's insane. So no, I think it's really important and an important topic moving forward as it evolves because it's evolving faster than anything I've seen, which is cool and a little bit
yeah,
scary, but mostly cool.
right.
You know, as side note, Ben, I built, I'm into music. I built an AI band,
No
hard
way.
rock band, and it's scaling at a rate. Um, I get like 4,000 followers a month on Spotify, and I've hit almost 4 million streams, and those royalties are coming in because
Wow.
music creates royalties,
Right.
and that's one thing I'm investing in. It's like, okay, well, how do I use AI to build my dream of having a hard rock band? And the hard rock band is called Machine 6, if anyone's interested. So go check
Nice.
it out, listen to some of the tunes. But I built all that with AI marketing, AI band, all of it. That's the power of it. You can do a lot with it in any industry. And you know what I mean? So, anyways, Ben,
Uh,
any last thoughts?
Well, I put that machine six down because my son's building a band here. I'm gonna plug him into that so
Hell
he can
yeah.
follow it.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. Let him headbang a little bit.
yeah, nothing else for me. I love what you have to say here on AI tech. It's definitely something that I'm like knee
Yeah,
deep into now. I wish I started this journey a long time ago, though,
yeah.
because technology is one of those things that could make your life significantly easier
Yes,
if you
it
work
can.
at it. Yeah.
Well, you can even build like if you get a denial or whatever, like a AI that helps you fight those denials. Like I built something the other day to help me
Yeah.
fight an issue uh, that I was having, and it's like doing an excellent job at winning. So I'm like, okay, cool, this is really awesome. But again, you got to give it the right
Yep.
information and give it guardrails. So,
That's
anyways,
right.
Ben. With that being said, brother, we'll put this episode live so all of our audience members can listen to it and hopefully find some value. And until then, we will see you next episode, and we hope everyone has a rocking day.
Rockin' day. Take care, everybody. Love it, man. Hey, I gotta run.